We join Rubber Duck Engineering, already in progress. The wild Eric Seidel is attempting to paint enter and exit portals on the map so that we can tell where we're supposed to go in our randomly generated maze.
Sorry, I can't hear myself think through the golf commentator. Hello, Dr. Barth.
Hey, Eric. Welcome, everyone.
Okay, we were desperately trying to fix it so we could do the maze generation. Why were we painting portals? Oh, because you have start and end were painted.
Well, we were trying to solve the maze, and I wanted to know how to get out. So I need to see the little dot. Anyway, so in the Easy Bake Oven between episodes, Eric actually caused the game to paint the walls that we generated last episode, and he made it so the character and the mob don't traverse the walls. They like bump into the walls and don't go any further. And so we were just trying to paint the enter and exit points, and then we should have like a somewhat playable game. And then for this episode, I thought it'd be cool if we would try to actually generate mazes that were fun to try to solve, which I think will involve trying to figure out like what a good fitness function should be, and then like keep randomly shuffling the world or something until we improve the fitness function.
Huh. Something's wrong. Coding is hard.
Do you want to give them default values so that we don't have to fill them in everywhere?
Oh, this is the problem in life. Well, I don't know that you want default values. Maybe like first and last cell or something could be default values.
Oh, that's true. I think default maybe a foot gun.
Name param enter. Okay.
So this is really a path between enter and exit, right? Oh, that was a drop position.
Yes, I did play with this very briefly over the weekend, and it turns out it was very easy to add stuff. I could have done a lot more. But another big thing that's missing is it doesn't understand when you've like quote unquote won the game, which currently is when you smash into the mob. Yeah, this one's a little odd. Also, that's wrong, right? It's going to be 2-0. Oh, all right, great. Looks like you fixed it.
I was trying to. Yeah, did we get all the error messages?
Our portals should be painting. I don't see them.
Oh, maybe we need to cause a repaint. Like we want to move the move the character.
Well, if we I mean, normally you don't have to reload. Oh, okay, I guess you did. So there's the enter one, and there's the exit one. Those are terrible colors.
Okay, those are kind of odd positions, but all right. Yeah, let's make a little darker shade here. Like
they look valid though.
Okay, now I can see them.
Yeah. Okay. And so our intrepid hero block is the orange block.
So we're trying to go to purple, right? Purple is the exit.
Sure.
Nailed it. We need like a game. I think for the MVP, it should like pop up a thing. It's like you won.
Do you think I had envisioned this because one of the things I added was multiple levels to the world. So I envisioned you could stitch the like enter and exit together. So if you go to the exit, it actually goes to the next maze below you.
Oh, I see. But you start out right there.
Yeah, you start out on this thing. And in fact, we could probably fix it to do that. Because I suspect that you don't currently spawn there. Location.
Mm-hmm. I see you want the player location to start off at the enter point.
Yeah, I don't know where it currently starts today. Spawn. Model spawn. Spawn. It's a little weird, the spawn thing, but that's fine. All right, so this thing, const position. Yeah, that's just like that's wrong. I should be at like levels. We do this? Yeah. Should be at world. Oh, I see current level. Yeah, world dot. Oh, is world not initialized yet? Am I not allowed to access world in this?
We can just move the player to where it's supposed to be.
World dot level
like down here.
First dot enter. But yes, we could easily, instead of having it spawn. I mean, I guess it does want a location.
You can say player dot location equals levels first dot enter. Okay, that seems logical.
It's also not. Yeah, like the player doesn't know what it's in the.
Yeah. And then where's the mob? Like, what if the mob spawns in the middle of a wall?
I mean, so I added some of that, not for spawning, but for get random position with condition.
Yes, Eric fixed his setup so we can actually see the game while we're coding on it. It's a huge improvement. Oh,
this fancy new function. Get random position with condition.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we need to spawn the mob.
And that's on the maze level generator, which presumably doesn't belong there. Maybe it belongs on the level itself.
Feels like it belongs on the level. Yeah, you have it as a static.
Yeah, I mean, it could easily be moved. It currently takes a size too. Maybe just a version of this ends up on the.
Well, I think this thing is just a free function, right? And then it can be used by the maze generator or the level to implement something interesting.
Okay.
So we're just gonna make it private, right? And then level should be like get random passable.
Well, level one, it probably doesn't take a size.
Well, I'm just gonna write like a here, like a getter. I'm on line 201.
Oh, this also depends on get random position, which can move out as well.
Oh, I see. We don't have a random number.
You have to pass one. And that's what you want, right? Because you want to be able to do seeded random.
Okay, so then we should pass one in. Right? We should say
get
random position, and then you have to pass in a random.
Yep.
Okay. What is the I size? The I size is my size, random. And then what is the function? The function is passable. Is passable.
You may want more conditions than that. Like you don't want it to be the start or the end. Like you don't want it to be you don't have to spawn on top of the mob. Or spawn.
Okay, so you want to say get random spawn location?
Yeah. I don't know that this goes on level. I think that whoever calls this wants to call this with some context because the context it's somewhat context sensitive. I mean, you could do like unoccupied. Like the question is, who stores the information of where the mob is? Right now, that's stored on the mob.
Right. So the world knows, right? No, the game state knows. So the game state is the one.
Like, can mobs stack? Can the player be on the same square as a mob?
I think we just want to add all those conditions. Let's get mob spawn location. Pass in a random. The size is the world has a size, right?
I find where you are.
I'm on line 374.
Okay.
So we just need to write out all the conditions, right? It has to be passable.
Mm-hmm. What current level?
Okay, and then any mob can have this position. For var mob. If mob location. Position. No go. And if the player is there too, that's also a no go, right? Okay, seems sensible. Then here we need to spawn at a random location. So where's our random? Do we keep this somewhere?
Somebody has a random.
I think maybe the game state should keep the random. Like,
yeah, I suspect it's on the. Yep.
I think it's on the maze generator at the moment, but we should probably pass it into the maze generator.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah.
No, is that?
No, I think that's totally fine. I've never like fully written a game, but I will. But I do know that this will then make it sensitive to. Like you may want to end up separating your randoms.
Okay.
Because if your maze generator now takes, I think this is fine. Does this take a random? Oh, I see. It takes a seed. It's fine. It can take a random. Random is totally fine.
Okay, so I'm going to move this over here and have the whole game state take a seed. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. This, like the thinking about where the seed should be is a little bit subtle.
Well, I suspect you end up, if you're doing something production scale, you end up with like a container that holds all your various randoms, because you would want some randoms to remain stable while allowing other parts of the thing that are less sensitive to stability to change. Because otherwise you add an extra call to random in your maze generator and you throw off all your later random calls that you're trying to hold stable in your tests.
All right, can I mix optional and name parameters?
You can. There may be an ordering issue because names have to go last until the recent Dart where that was fixed.
I see.
At least I think. I think you can mix them.
We can also make it name parameters. That's probably more sensible to be consistent anyway.
But I know in the most modern of darts, you can put the name parameters first in your declaration, which makes it nifty. This should not be 0. It's optional.
It should be like this.
No. If you just make a random without a seed.
Oh, it knows how to do that.
It's like pulls one off of time or whatever.
This is sad. Can I not reference my own parameters here?
Possibly. Was that the same thing we were having before down here? Like we could just make some of these late, right? Use magical late.
Okay. Should we make player late too? That'll solve our other problem.
I don't know if that solved that. Did that solve that problem? Late? That magical?
Is it done being mad at us?
Not sure. Why is it expecting to find?
We messed something up. Like the formatting is not.
Yeah, like this.
This is supposed to be like this, maybe.
No,
we have two.
It wants a comma.
But I want player to be outside the initializer list.
Pull it out.
So I want it to be inside like that.
Oh, I see. That's what you were doing. Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, did we say hi to people?
Oh, hi.
Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Yeah. Late error. World has not been initialized. Okay. When were we trying to use it? What do we do? Did we abuse late?
It was too powerful. We were drunk on our own lateness.
Yeah. Well, we tried to use it before we made the player.
A little bit too late. Hello, welcome. Thanks for coming.
There we go. Whoa.
Oh, the mob is sitting on. Oh no, that's us on the entrance. Yeah.
We
ate the mob. Boom. Can we go to the next level?
We haven't spawned a second level, but it's trivial to do that. Like generate.
I want to
generate
the portals.
2 levels. Right now, 2 levels.
Does it know to advance to the next level when we reach?
No, we have to add that code, but that code is not hard to write. So I think that means you want to get these things. Like, it's not clear to me that you want to spawn the player. Like, I think you want
to spawn the mob when you change levels, like enter level.
But like all of this is like enter level 1, right?
So you want to despawn the player when you switch levels?
I think you want like enter level.
Okay.
And then you want int index.
Okay.
Right, and then it's current index equals index, and this. But
the world is constant, right?
Yeah. So like the mobs, do they make sense on the world?
No, they're in the game state, right? The world is constant.
Yeah, the world didn't need to move. Yes, correct.
Okay, the world didn't need to move. And now is player nullable? Like, can player maybe player is nullable?
Well, why are we spawning a new player?
Right. So I think maybe we shouldn't spawn a new player when you enter the world. We should only spawn the mobs.
So I don't think
the player is consistent, right?
I see. So you're just moving the player to. So why does the player have a like this position that it has is also not tied to a level?
Right. So you're saying this should be const. We're just going to spawn the player at position 0, and then when you enter a level, we'll put the player location at the current level's enter point. Yep.
Yeah, that's all fine. We still are splitting we have a bunch of split data. We're like which level we're working with and what's in the level, or like the thing where it is in the level and what that refers to. It's all fine. We don't have to fix it now. I'm just.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Right. There's like a level state.
Sure. And like you.
Because you're basically saying that mobs here, we're supposed to like say mobs dot clear, which is a little bit like to do like mobs should be split. Mob state should be split out.
That's one aspect. Also, imagine if you had multiple players and they came and went. Like, and they could be on different levels, or like, anyways, the player is not. It's all fine. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
We don't need to over-design our little 3-line.
So then somehow in our next turn we need to advance to the next level, right?
Yeah. So next turn. Yeah. So this is if you step on a mob, you kill it, which is not really actually that useful. Oh, this is why is that next turn? What is that?
I think after the player moves, then we call next turn.
Oh yeah, we have this. This is the other thing, is that moves need to end up being an object of some form.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like some like action, and then you like try and apply that.
Right, but I think we should write that down as a to-do. But for right now, we can just say if player location equals current level.
Okay. Yep.
Current level dot exit, then enter level.
What happens when you enter the last exit? Do you win?
Well, I'm not sure we want to generate all the levels up close. I want to just play forever.
Oh. Okay. That makes sense. except this is, you want actually this to be our level index plus 1.
Right.
Okay. So
you know what I really want? Okay, we'll do this. So I think we need to keep the maze generator or generate levels.
The maze generator is a little weirdly designed too, because it like has a level thing on it. So actually change the way you use it. Use it through the static function, which makes more sense as a call. That it makes itself a maze generator and then returns the level. Because right now the maze level generator has as one of its.
Okay, so we can say on enter level, we can say if. So set the current level index. So if index is greater than.
Add a level.
Yeah. Where is it? Levels?
Sure.
World.
Levels.length.
Levels.length. Then world levels. Add all. Level generator. Make some more. Size random.
Are you going to make the difference, or you're just going to assume that?
What happened to the size? Is there a world that size?
This is like int missing levels equals.
Oh yeah.
Index minus.
We just did it in here. Like it's this this thing minus index, right?
All right, that's fine.
This is like missing.
Well, it's okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is enter level called from within a set state, presumably?
Hello. Oh, what's the question? Could you randomly pick X, Y and toggle on off its 4 neighbors at each generation? Toggle on off its 4 neighbors at each generation. That wouldn't be interesting though. I'm not sure I understand your question. What do you mean by toggle them on and off?
Well, it worked.
You got to the next level. Can you keep going?
Oh,
moment of truth. No? Something bad happened when we tried to generate the levels.
Oh, I bet we passed a negative or something. Like, what is the...
Oh, we need +1, I think.
Oh, no. Yeah, we sent it off in a...
Do we need +1? If there are 2 levels, the index is 2, then we need 1. Yeah, +1.
All right, let's try.
Oh, that mob is tricky.
You make the mob kill us rather than...
The mob is kind of harmless. You would always just kill it. Oh. It's no good?
Again.
Okay, you want to hit the debugger and see where we are?
There's just the pause button here somewhere.
I think you just hit the pause button.
Pause. We're deep. Are we?
Maybe we're some infinite recursion or something.
All right. Let's go look and see what we did here. What trouble we caused for ourselves.
2.
Enter level 0.
Okay.
If the level we're entering is more than the length.
The length is going to be 2 to start with, right?
But this is actually wrong. This needs to be greater than or equal to.
Oh. Yes. Okay. That's logical.
This is why we should just do this out here, right?
Okay. And you say if missing is greater than 1, greater than 0. Yeah. Yep, you're right. You know, when I've gone back and watched the some of our recordings, and I've found a common pattern where you'll suggest something, I'll reject your suggestion, and then we'll come around 5 minutes later, and it turns out you were right all along. And I wonder if I do this just all the time in life, and I just need to be more accepting of people's ideas.
I just think it's a balance. One of the things I actually think that you do well to make this a total love fest is that I think this comes from your PhD training of the the starting by rejecting the premise. I don't know that it always serves you here in programming, but you do often start by rejecting the premise.
Well, this is why I like improv class was very important to me, because like one of the core ideas of improv is the yes and idea, which is like the opposite of rejecting the premise. It's just like you must accept any premise that your fellow improvisers are throwing out there on stage, and just go with it and see what happens.
This is actually a slightly more interesting level, especially if things were shooting at you or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like as far as mazes, I mean, these are not difficult to solve. Oh, it worked. Okay, I think we officially have a playable game.
Well, it needs some threat. It needs some way to like win or get points or like. But
does it?
Yeah.
Can't you just play mazes forever? Like that sounds fun. I guess we could have a counter of like how many levels you've done. In this model, you could actually go backwards. Like if you
we need to
went back to the enter, we can go back to the old.
Yeah. We teach how to go backwards. How do we do that? Except for the first one.
Right. You just need a test for that, right? You need an else here. The else here is very important.
So this is the current level is not.
And current level is greater than 1.
Okay, so. Oh, and this is wrong.
Oh, but you should go back to the exit.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
It's fine. This is this is just spawn in. Something like that.
Well, I feel like the player location should be separate from this. This should be like move to this level, like spawn level. Yeah, spawn location. Well, no, because it. I think it should be afterwards, right? Oh, spawn location is going to be an enum. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you want me to create the enum for you?
Sure.
I'm on your wavelength.
What I'm putting down or whatever the phrase is?
Yeah. Now you have to guess, what did I name the enum states?
Ooh. Did you start and end or enter and exit?
Entrance.
Entrance. Oh my goodness.
But exit is the same, unfortunately. Like this is just English being weird. Oh, you totally need a switch statement. This if is just error prone.
I agree. Okay. Switches are so verbose in Dart.
It's true.
And you can't return out of them. Oh, I missed the. Maybe this should be just named location.
Oh yeah. And then there's like a well. You could spawn at the well.
Yeah, I don't know what other named locations, but then we could do. I'm sure we're over designing here, but we can then do get position for named location, right?
Yeah, that's
fine. So then you can have a nice return out. All right, where did we get lost in our
named location?
Lost in our redesigns here. Are you doing it? It's like on level or something like that. Yeah.
I don't have the auto fixer thing, so.
This is going to now be all this goes away, right? Because this current level dot position for location.
Okay.
A little odd. It's like position for named. Position with name.
Yeah, position for name location. So this is Visual Studio Code, which is what I hang out in basically 95% of the time. The other 5% of the time, I use VI. I usually use VI either if I need to do some really fancy advanced editing that Visual Studio isn't that awesome at. Like if I need to do like a vertical selection with a regex replace something something something. I'll bust out VI. I know I can get VI bindings for Visual Studio Code, but I can't do that. But most of the time, Visual Studio Code. I went through this whole series where I started out using what was it called?
Sublime?
The one before Sublime.
Atom?
That was so it was Sublime, then Atom, the Visual Studio Code. But there was one before Sublime that was only on Mac. But it was like the one that pioneered the Command spacebar. The Command P for like fuzzy matching the file opening.
Thing like Atom. There was like, you're not thinking BB Edit, are you?
No, I also used BB Edit, but that was a long time ago. No, this was it was a precursor to Sublime. Sublime was then a later one that also had TextMate. Yes.
TextMate, yes.
TextMate, exactly. TextMate, I believe, was what pioneered what I think is the killer feature of an editor, which is this Command P. You kind of type the name of the file, and you totally misspell it. Yeah. Oops. TextMate, exactly. You kind of misspell the name of the file, but it finds it anywhere, somewhere deep in your project, which I just use constantly to like fly around the project. And I've tried to get plugins for VI that do this, and I've never been happy with them.
I feel like I've used Visual Studio Code for like a decade now, and that feels wrong somehow because the previous decade I used 4 different editors. So like, what? Because I don't feel like editors are done.
Visual Studio Code is quite good. Like it nails the like lightweight, but still has a lot of features, like which is a hard point to hit. Like Sublime was really great in like the lightweight. Like the only thing I dislike about Visual Studio Code is when you type a letter, the latency for that letter showing up on screen is still to me observable. Like if you go side by side with Sublime, the character will just show up on screen faster. And it just makes me feel more productive. Like I can hammer out tons more code if just that is if that loop is as tight as possible. I'm obsessive about these like inner loops of programming. That's why like was like obsessive about hot reload in Flutter being really, really fast because it's on the inner loop of your edit like programming cycle. But the innermost loop is the keystroke to seeing the character loop. And I know if I was like a more grizzled, older school programmer, I could totally like type ahead and not have to see it because I'm on like a 96 baud modem or something, and I can type faster than the modem or something. But like, no, I'm not that cool. Sorry.
Insufficient grizzle.
Insufficient grizzle to type ahead. My brain somehow needs the visual feedback.
One of the things the beefs I have with Visual Studio Code is that it doesn't do collaborative editing well enough, as you and I hit constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder.
I feel like Replit has done better at that, but even Replit isn't perfect. Like I really want like Google Docs level collaborative editing, where you could be literally on top of the same word and like smashing the keyboard and undoing and everything, and it just all just like somehow works. Sorry, you push the like the text editor IDE button for programmers, and like the word many words came out. I think this is a occupational hazard. I think just because we spend so much time, like literally what we do all day is type.
Yeah.
And so it's like it is the hammer to our carpentry. I imagine, I mean, I don't do a lot of carpentry, but I imagine carpenters have a lot of feelings about their hammers. Level 3. Oh, we got the construction sign at the bottom.
Yeah, what did I do here? I made it a column with text and aspect ratio.
Yeah, Visual Studio, but yeah. I feel you. I had to use Visual Studio
for a while
for developing on Windows. Before working on Flutter, I worked on Chrome, and Chrome, in way early days, was only on Windows, of course. And so at that time, the way that I worked on Chrome was I had a ThinkPad at the time, an IBM ThinkPad, and then it was a little tiny one, but the keyboard was too small. Like I couldn't handle it. So I had this, which is the Microsoft Natural keyboard, which as you can tell has these little feet. And so it turns out the ThinkPads of the era fit underneath the Microsoft Natural keyboard. So I had the Microsoft Natural keyboard overlaid on top of the ThinkPad. So I had a decent sized keyboard on this little tiny laptop that was then running Visual Studio, like full blown Visual Studio. and that's how I worked on Chrome in the earliest days.
Fix it.
You couldn't load the entire Chromium in Sublime with ease. Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this time there was much less code in Chrome, and so you could actually like edit it on a laptop, and you could actually build it on a laptop too. Nowadays, I would not try to build it on a laptop. You will not have a good time. Oh, look at this maze. It's like barely passable from beginning to end. That's fascinating.
I really think that like the thing needs to chase you and kill you or something.
Well, we have all those algorithms, remember, from the like battle royale chess thing.
That was wild. That level is super small.
Do we make sure that the start and exit cannot appear on the same level, on the same location?
I believe I do, because
But they could be right next to each other.
What?
There's no minimum distance. We might want to set a minimum distance. Like this level is silly. Like they're right next to each other. This is why you do playtesting, because you have to like figure out like what are the actual.
Why did it take so long? Like that makes me think that.
Is it taking longer and longer to generate each one?
Yeah, as though we're generating more or something like that.
Does the Chrome team use remote builds? This is an excellent question. So at this time, we were using a system called Incredibuild, which is an integrated distributed build thing that was built inside Visual Studio. And what it did was it didn't like run on a build server. Instead, it like found on your local area network other people who had Incredibuild in your Visual Studio, in their Visual Studio, and you could see like whose machine you were on and who was running your compile for you, and somehow it would like set the priority of the job so it wouldn't bother you too much. But if everyone on the team is compiling all the time, it doesn't do anything. Of course, it's only if there's actual time when you're not compiling. So that system, got us so far. But nowadays they use a cloud-based build system. I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's called Goma or something. And it's similar to Bazel in that it like does a bunch of caching, and most of the time when you're building, what you're just doing is hitting the cache. It has like an absurd hit rate of like 99.9 something. So you spend most of the time just doing network transfers, which if you're on a high-speed network, works great.
I gotta try it.
You're trying to figure out like why it takes longer to generate the later levels?
Yeah, I worry that we're that our math is wrong. Like
CC cache. You can also use CC cache.
Look at
I think
this is wrong.
Oh, we're generating like a quadratic number of levels.
Yeah.
All right, we'll fix our math.
You
can use CC cache. Goma doesn't need to use CC cache. It has that same kind of idea built into it.
We're doing 9 levels now.
Okay.
Something's wrong.
Spawn and level, like what? Missing. Generate levels. Do you want to just hit this in the bugger and see what's going on?
Length minus index plus 1. I think we're just missing a. This is the missing is. This is wrong.
This is wrong.
This is the we want index.
Mm-hmm.
Index.
Oh,
Yes.
It's very wrong.
Levels dot.
Yes.
Length. Length or counter. That
world.levels.length, I think.
World.levels. Which is still going to be wrong, because when we want level 2,
when we want level 0 and we have 0, we actually need 1.
Yes. Okay. That should fix it.
Okay.
All right, so we generated 2, which should make sense.
Did you add the minimum distance between the spawn, the start, and exit?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. We have a.
So sorry, I didn't hear. Did you add the minimum distance?
figure that out. We don't have like a distance function. I mean, that's straightforward to do. This is the line right here. When we generate the start randomly, and then we generate the end and make sure that it's not the same as the start.
I see. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't compiled Chrome in a long time. I have sent. I don't even like. I'm now even scared to just even like check it out because the repository is such a monster. I do occasionally send the project like tiny patches, but I do it by if you go to their code search, there's a little edit button in their code search, and that brings up a little toy editor. And so if you're just doing a tiny amount of editing, you can do that and like prepare a CL. And so my last like dozen CLs for Chrome, just probably been like one a year or something, 2 a year. I'm doing that way.
Okay, so it works. Are we going to do generation in our remaining little bit of time? That had been the thing you wanted to work on tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think in watching, like, I haven't been playing it. You were the one who made anything with like a, doing the keyboard or whatever.
Mhm.
But these levels actually seem kind of fun. Do you feel like they're fun?
I think you need there needs to be something to pick up and some sort of risk, but other than that, yeah,
But like, are you happy with the like walls that are here?
I think they're fine in terms of like sort of one room levels.
Because I had kind of imagined the game with the walls being more difficult, like that the finding the way to the exit was a more difficult task.
Yeah, I think it depends on. This currently has a feel of like very small levels at each. Like you're climbing up a tower or something like that, or climbing down a little cave or something, right?
So do you want to try to like increase the number of squares to make it feel like the rooms are bigger?
Well, or you'd have to have rooms within. Like there are no rooms in this, right? You could also do a gauntlet style where you really literally did have a maze.
I think this is getting back to like the design. Like, what is the?
I think a thing that's missing here is like there's no gold or something. There's no like goal, right? There's no nothing to pick up. Your character doesn't change in any way.
So do you want to do like items? Is that what you think that's a more important thing to do? I feel like the interaction with the mob could be better. Like, right?
Well,
Like, there's no way for the mob to get you. Like, you can get the mob.
I'm amused that we keep swapping.
We just like randomly, you just like rolled the dice.
Well, we're in parity, right?
Oh, I see.
I need to get a tempo. Anyways, yeah, I think, and this is where I was getting to with, I think we have to have separate like move objects because you have to think about whether the move is actually an attack or
a defense, like different keys, maybe like. Or we're gonna do editor, which oh, is that really true? That's neat. I mean, those folks have just succeeded massively. I mean, I hope they feel like the fact that, like, my understanding is Visual Studio Code is in large part based on Atom, and I hope they feel that that's the success of Visual Studio Code is some success that they get credit for, because they do in my mind.
Visual Studio Code had several innovations. One of which was that they have an even nicer extension system than either of these others did. I just know that like we have teams that build. We have teams that I'm responsible for that build for both the IntelliJ products and the Visual Studio Code projects. And I can tell you the ones who work on the Visual Studio side are just so much more productive. And that's no knock against IntelliJ. They have an extension model that is 15 years younger. I think it matters.
I think we need a way for the mob to get you and a way for you to get the mob.
Is this real time or turn based?
You told me that turn based was one of the like criteria for roguelikes. I think we should. I mean, I guess not all roguelikes are turn based, but I think if we're trying to make a roguelike thing, we should be turn based.
So yes, I think we have to have some concept of combat, which is a different kind of move.
Oh wait, I had a crazy idea. What if the number of mobs that get spawned is equal to the level index?
Whoa. Okay, let's do it. Did you do it?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
I wish there was and this again, more like the live share is sort of bolted onto the side. Like you can go find you, but it's not as straightforward.
They got the latency thing. Ooh, I really hope there's a latency war in like amazing text editors. That would just make me so happy.
Oh, for the Atom thing? I got to find out more about this. The Atom author's writing.
I don't know what the plugins are. I imagine so. I think IntelliJ is largely I think that's where the J comes from. It's from Java.
I think it's all Java. Yeah.
Go to the next level. I think you're gonna get hit by it. So many mobs. Oh, that mob is like locked away in jail, so the mob doesn't have a way of getting to the exit. I think the mob spawning logic. We need to.
Well, it's not clear that you ever want those jail things. Like those should fill.
Oh, you think every point should be able to reach the end? Yes, I got a new haircut. My lovely wife gave me a haircut in the backyard. The clippers. I think the one of the mistakes I made in the pandemic is I realized that I wanted to get the haircut at home, but I got the like cheapo hair clippers. And if I'd known that this was going to go on for as long as it has gone on, I would have gotten fancier hair clippers. But I hope you like the haircut. Sorry, we're getting distracted.
It's quite all right. We're having an AMA night instead of a maze night, which is totally fine. But I think the next thing is to do combat.
Okay, let's do combat. So talk to me about combat.
I think combat has to be. So I think we have to go here. This sort of can move logic.
We can distinguish between you stepping on the mob and the mob stepping on you.
Well, but it's not even a stepping, right? When you push in the direction of a mob, it needs to do a combat action instead of a move action. And the reason why is that neither of you are actually going to move locations. You're both going to take damage or play some animation or something like that.
Okay, so we need to grow up, and a move now needs to be like an action. And an action could be like a move, or an action could be like attack, or an action could be like something else, right?
Yeah, I think that like this like move from key event is really like it's like direction from key event, and then it's like action for direction or something like that.
Okay.
And that needs to generate an action thing. Mm-hmm. And then if like there isn't an action for that direction, it's like, okay, fine, we didn't get an action. We can't do anything. But otherwise, if it's an attack, then we just play the action. And that is either we move a mob or we. And similarly, the mobs can generate actions, some of which, if they see you next to them or they have a visual line of sight to you, they shoot an arrow or who knows what we get to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm down for it. I think we should totally head in this direction.
Okay, so let's write some fantasy code. So this is then like
Z. Okay, I will check out Z after the stream.
I don't know if this really belongs on game state, but right there, game state dot action for direction. Mm-hmm. Action for.
This should be direction from key. Oops.
Player, and then this is move. Yeah, I don't know what the. Or maybe this whole like direction from key is
delta from key.
Okay,
that's fine. This is our delta.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Uh-huh. It can depend on like what's there, right? And this is nullable, right? So then if action is not null, then game state,
which makes more sense.
Q. Action. Okay.
And then that implies the next turn?
That does all of this, yeah. So we're going to say set state, game state, execute action.
Okay.
Because then the action is going to like escrow who the player is and all that stuff.
Well, so I think you may still need to do next turns because I think the actions, I think you're going to want the mobs to generate actions too, and they do that inside the next turn.
Okay. So you want to resurrect this code here?
Yeah, I think you want. because this is like player action, right? Be specific.
Execute player action.
I think you can actually just have this be execute. That's fine. Because the action presumably has the who's acting. What did I do?
Right. So in like a multiplayer world, that the player action will remember which player is taking the action.
Well,
like maybe you would, yeah.
I think the action is just an action thing. It knows what it's moving. Like the player ends up being a mob, presumably, or like mob stands for movable object. And I think, in like a 3D world, it's like a different from a fixed object because it changes with the lighting rules or whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, this is great fantasy code. So why don't we try to make this fantasy code real? So we need game state action 4. It seems like the main thing.
Okay. Which we can just make the current world just work with this, right?
Right. So I'm going to make an action, a class player action. It's going to be something abstract, and one of the actions is going to be player move action.
I think you also just do move. I don't know that you need the separation for the. Where I get with that is that like maybe things have teleports or like other moves. Like can moves go long distances? Like can they move multiple things? Do they need to check for passability? That's why I think you want to encapsulate things in these actions.
So you're saying that this should be like a final position, final location? I'm trying to what.
Okay, let me come up and see what. So I was thinking that this is just action, and this is then just like mob, and the player is a mob. Is that a bad idea? Maybe we don't have that, and so we have to have this separation right now.
Let's do that. I think that's a good thing. I think we do that as a refactor.
I think you're totally fine, and we can make it more generic later.
Refactor.
Okay, so this is then player action.
Generic Bob.
Okay, and so this is then turn move.
I do the like super thing. Is that going to work? Required super player.
Yes, it might. I don't know.
The analyzer, it's happy.
I know that's a new feature in Dart. I don't know that the version of Dart that I have installed here has that, but
we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Well, the other thing is that when new features roll out, sometimes like one part of Dart understands them and other parts of Dart don't yet.
I'm so excited about this super dot thing because like so many times in writing the Flutter framework, I just had to like repeat forwarding all these arguments to my super.
All right, action 4. This is the if can move player delta turn move player move action. This is player dot location dot apply delta to player. Otherwise, turn null.
Okay.
What do we miss? We need execute. All right, so we need void execute.
Execute should be like a here, right? Like a bool execute on the game state.
Okay, that's fine. You typing it somewhere else?
So like on player move action, it's going to override execute.
Oh. Whoa.
State dot player.
Okay.
Equals destination.
Yeah, that makes sense. It gives it locality.
Does execute should it return a bool? We don't need it yet, so let's not do it. Like it might want to return a bool eventually. It's like illegal to execute that. And I want to. I guess there's an assert here that state dot player equals player. do multiplayer.
Okay. All right, so this is now player action dot execute. Okay.
That's another good reason for next turn to be separate.
All right. So
Is the
shall we
game
see if
still
it works?
playable? Yeah, I'm curious. Okay,
Oh.
game's still playable.
But next turn is not working.
What? There's no mob. You have to go to level 2 to get a mob. A level 1 to get a mob.
Oh.
Level 0 is easy. It's the tutorial.
Okay.
No, you don't want a tutorial level? It's too easy.
Oh, this is great. I just love that we've the way that we've like added difficulty in the simplest way possible.
But I think this is how roguelikes came to be, right? Like, isn't this kind of the
Oh,
like there's progression in this game? Like it feels way more like a game now.
it is a little weird that you can go back up the start.
You can go up the start.
You can. It's very easy to end up going back up.
I see. We need like a transition effect, like zoom.
We need a
out
hero
the tower.
animation or something.
Yeah. Okay, so now we need to attack, right? We want the attack action. That was the point of doing this.
Yes. So we want the attack action, which is that when there's a mob next to us, we do an attack instead.
And so then we're going to remember the target. Okay.
We are almost at time, by the way.
I feel like we're here though. We have 3 minutes, maybe.
I don't think we'll get this done in 3 minutes, but we can try.
How do we execute an attack action? We say we want to iterate through the mobs. We have this code already. In next turn, doomed. It's like this code. Attack action for mob and mobs. Don't update the mobs. If mob location equals target, then add the mobs to the doomed list. Okay. Remove. Okay, nailed it. Now we don't need any of these doom calculations. We just need to update the mob's position. Okay. And now we need the mob to be able to attack you.
I see. You've written some fantasy code. You've written some checks.
I don't think so.
Oh, I was making like we can't generate these yet. I'm making it possible to generate them at the moment.
Yeah, that looks good. Oh, target equals mob. No, the target was a location.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. You can change it.
Because like, what if the mob can dodge or something or dance or?
Well, then you're gonna have this. Yeah. Okay.
This should be an iterator, right? Can the mobs ever be on top of each other? Are they fermions or are they bosons?
I don't know whether the mobs can ever be on top of each other. I don't think so. I think everything occupies a single space.
So then it's like mob question mark.
Yeah.
That.
All right, position. But yeah, it's called position. Too much assembly.
Oh man. Location equals position.
The B.
Can we just rename them to mobs?
Mobs or mauves. MAUVE. Mobs. Because English is amazing.
I did it right this time. Okay.
Did we do it, team? Okay.
Okay. I think you can attack the mobs. I don't think the mobs can attack you yet.
What happens when you attack them?
They die.
Oh, they just die.
Yeah, they become doomed.
But you don't move. Is that correct?
You don't move, correct?
What was that?
You hit under the mob.
But you're not supposed to move.
Okay. Let's stop the mobs from moving so we can test whether this is working. Okay. Try this now. You beat the level so fast you couldn't hurt the mob.
Boom! I hit under the mob.
Okay. So Mobat is not working.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, if we need to do this check before the can move check. There we go. Try it now.
Boom.
You got it.
Boom.
Boom. Okay, so now I'm going to make the mobs go update themselves.
Okay. We have to make it so the mobs can't move through you. But once we teach the mobs to attack, it'll have the same effect.
Okay, you're getting it. Combat works. Okay, I think this is like getting to be a pretty playable game. I don't know if you're having fun playing it, but
I think
watching you play it.
We're getting there. I don't think we're going to be the top of Twitch TV charts yet, but
the like close combat is not quite polished yet. But yeah, we'll get there.
Well, Dr. Barth, it was fun as always.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week for some more mortal mob on mob combat.
Thanks everyone who came live, and thanks everyone who watches us on YouTube.
Yeah, and I learned about the new editor Zed, which I now need to go check out.
Yeah. See you next week.
Take care.